Dreamweaver Assignment 1. That's what I'm going through today. So the first thing you need to do is go into your My Campus folder, or even better, click on the OneDrive link that you've been sent by instructors and download it. In there, you will see all of the files you need. If you go into the Assignments folder and then click on Assignment 1, download that Assignment 1. So it's DRWVR A1. And then also in the main folder, there is your outline. So I'm going to share my screen now and show you exactly what I mean. So this is your assignment here. In your assignment folder, you should have Dreamweaver Assignments and then Dreamweaver Assignment 1. Best thing to do is to copy this. So copy this folder. I'm going to go to my Documents folder and go into Dreamweaver. I'm going to paste that item. So first thing you should do is probably name your file so that we know when you submit it that it's your file and not on anyone else's, because right now it's just very generic. So behind this, I'm going to put my initials. So DRWVR-A1, and then I put -LS. And then inside that folder, you'll have ones that says assignment1.html. I want you to do the same here. So I'm actually going to just use lowercase for it just likes it a lot better when you do that. So it doesn't matter how you really put it. Actually, I'm going to shorten it quite a bit. So I'm going to put A01 LS HTML. So that's my assignment 1 HTML file. So then when I go back to my assignment outline here, you can see that it has the steps of exactly how to do everything. So the first thing you need to do is click on or copy this. It shouldn't, if it doesn't work here, then I would just go to your browser window and search for a butterfly. So butterfly graphics. You can find GIFs. So it's kind of fun to use something that's kind of moving versus something static. So in here, if you Google this, under there's a few down that says free butterfly animations, clip art, butterfly GIFs. So you can pick any of these. So I'm going to pick this one right here, butterfly with many colors. And I'm just going to say save image as. So you're going to pick one of these, save your image. You're going to save your image into this folder over here that says images under Dreamweaver A1 and your initials now, that new folder we just created. We're going to put it in there. So we are going to go to Documents. Yeah, Documents. Graphic Design, Dreamweaver, Assignment 1, Images. And this one's called Butterfly Green Blue 2018. So I'm going to, and it's a GIF image. So I always just like to add the extension on there so that there's no issues when I go to grab it. I know that it's a GIF. So I've got my image. And I've already, in number 1, it says create a template and open the Dreamweaver folder using your site manager. So I'm going to go into Dreamweaver now and show you how to do that. We've already labeled our assignment properly, so it's just a matter of opening everything up. So step 3 says body rule. So we're going to change the background color. So body rule means that it's in your HTML typically, because you're creating a rule in your HTML that goes to your CSS. So this could also be called just you're creating a rule, right? So it's called a rule in CSS. So in the body area, you're making the rule for your CSS. Same with the footer, but this is in the footer area, and then you're creating a rule. And then custom class is referring to making your own CSS. So the top 2 are just changing information, and the bottom one is about creating your own custom CSS. So when you open up your Dreamweaver, there shouldn't be anything on your screen other than you know, do you want to create a new, open an old one, or open another file? And I'm going to show you what to do to create a sitemap. So over here on the right side of my page, I'm just going to drag this over a bit so you can really see what's happening in these tabs. So I have Files, CC Libraries, Insert, and CSS Designer. You want to make sure that in here it says Standard. And then up at the top of your menu bar, you want to go to Site and say New Site. In my new site, I'm going to call this Assignment 1. And I'm going to click on my folder here. It says Local Site folder, and I'm going to find the folder that I'm working in called Assignment 1. So this one right here. You don't have to click inside of that. You want to click the folder that has everything inside. So choose and save. And yes. It's just updating mine because I had one name missing. So again, I'm going to make this a bit bigger. And now you can see in here, you'll have a folder that shows up. So you shouldn't be like really deep in this, like way back at home. You should actually be in your assignment. So this is what I called it, was Assignment 1. And if you click this little down arrow, you'll see all the folders in that file folder that you created, and then your HTML file. So this is like a basic setup. So you should always have a folder with CSS, one with images, one with JavaScript. So I'm going to click on HTML. When your window opens up, you want to make sure that up at the top it says Code Split Live. Code is just going to show you only the code. Split is going to show you both screens. Live is going to show you what it looks like on the live page, and design is just broken up into different sections like div tags. So you want to make sure it goes to split and live for the easiest way to kind of have the best of all the worlds. So the next step, and I have my assignment printed out, so I can flip back and forth between this, or I do have it printed out here, so I will read it from there. So in your, it says select the butterfly on Giphy and then move it flush right. So this is our next step here, is to move it flush right. So if I use my visual window of my website, I can see there's the butterflies right here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my source coding. Oh, and before we get started in this, we also have to do some, fix some errors. So I want you guys to understand how to fix errors in Dreamweaver, because this is a great tool. It tells you all of your errors. So if you can see mine in the bottom, if you can't see this, you can go to Window, Results, Output. So just make sure that's checked. Down here along this bottom, it says, you can see it says HTML here, and there's like an X, a red X. That basically is telling you every line that there is an error. So on my first line right here, I can easily see what my error is, but you might have to look really closely. And it's that I'm missing a right angle. I'm missing the right angle bracket there at the end of image. Also, now you can notice it's still orange, meaning it'll still work, but it has a problem, and it's saying an alt attribute must be present. So if I hit space and put my alt attribute in, I'm just going to put alt equals quotation in there. I don't need to put a name specifically right now. I could just call it image if I wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it. So you just have to have the alt in there, and then it doesn't have an issue anymore. Then I'm going to go down to line 125, and in here it says special characters must be escaped. So if your special characters must be escaped, it means that we're just missing a bit of information. So I can see again, my image class is missing an alt tag and a right closing angle. So I'm going to go in here and type in alt equals again. Oops. And I'm going to put in my right angle bracket. I'm also going to put this onto a new line because it's just easier to read. If you just have one element per line, or try to. So again, on line 127, it says the same thing. So it's probably the same error. So if I keep looking in here, it says alt. So notice how my alt is there, but it's missing part of that information. It's missing an equals brackets. And at the end, it has a backslash and then a right angle. So I need to take out that backslash that doesn't need like a closing bracket like that. And the other thing that it's doing here is my class. I have two classes present. I have image fluid and butterfly. So I'm going to take out butterfly. I'm assuming this was supposed to be part of the alt tag, so I'm going to just delete that for now. So now you can see it's not highlighted in red anymore, so it's not angry. I'm going to save this while I'm ahead, and then I'm going to continue on with fixing up all of these. So in here, you can see it says section. It says this must be paired. It's missing a div tag, a start tag match failed. So what this is meaning is that I think, and because I look at the one below it and it's saying it's not paired, I'm actually going to take out, I'm going to move, first I'm going to delete this div tag and see if that does anything. So I actually didn't need that div tag. I had one too many in there. And now it's saying that my section is not in the right spot, I believe. So I'm going to have to take this. Actually, I'm just going to try and delete it first and see if, again, like they have to line up. So you have to have an even number of opening section tags as you do closing section tags. So I just took it out, and now it's saying the tag must be paired on one line 189. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and those two that I just took out, it actually just wants me to add them in here. So I'm going to add a section. Oh, and that should be a closing section. So backslash. And it also wants me to have a div tag, a closing div tag. Oops. So sometimes you have to figure these out, and I think I just have these backwards. I think the div is first and the section is second. So I'm going to try that again. Section. And some of this is just trial and error, really. So there we go. So now it's working. So I have my div and my section on line 189 and 190. So again, I'm going to go save. And now I'm ready to start working. I'm going to just check out my CSS code here to make sure that there's no errors in there. And you'll notice that there's a few at the very beginning. So from line 8 down to line 35. So these are all, you don't have to worry about these for this assignment, as they're just having a problem with what's going on there. And this one that says, this one's just a caution sign that says duplicate property position found. I'm not going to deal with that one right now either. Those are just in my CSS code. So if something's not showing up properly, then I will, but otherwise I think it'll be fine. So again, we're going back to this butterfly, which we need to create a flush right for. So in your window on the top right, it says files. You go to your tabs here. So files, CC libraries, insert, and then CSS Designer. So if you go into your CSS Designer, you can just, if you have it really small, it will look like this. So selectors and properties are the two important ones that we're going to be dealing with. But I like to make them a bit bigger. So I have selectors in a column on the left, and then I can see my properties at the same time. There's lots of room. So I like to do it this way. What you can do here is where it says filter a CSS rule. You can see when I'm clicking on my image in the top window, in the main window, it says image, and then it says image fluid in here. It says .image-fluid. So this is going to be the rule that was created for this HTML. So if I look in the coding, it says image source, alt butterfly, and above this one, it says image class. So that image fluid right here is a class that I need to adjust. So I'm going over to the left now under my CSS Designer, and I'm going to type in .image-fluid. And I just typed .image- and it came up. So I can click on this image fluid here. Now, if you guys can see over on the right-hand side here, it says my height is auto and my max width is 100. There's a little checkbox on the right that says show only set properties. So these are only the properties that are applying to this image. If I uncheck that, it shows me all the possible properties that I could adjust. So if you scroll down just underneath margin, padding, position, there's something called float. And when you hover over the icons, it says left, right, or none. So you can just click on right. And now it's applying that float right to, if I say show set, you can see now it says height, max width, and float right. And you can see that my butterflies are in the right area. So another part that I want to go over with you is when you're clicking on your butterfly images, you'll notice this little hamburger menu right here. And when you do that, it says source. So I can go into my folder and I can choose a different source for this. So I'm going to go into the images and grab that butterfly that I just saved in here. So I'm going to open that and then hit return. There we go. So now I have my other butterfly in there. The other way you can do it, and I'm going to show you on this one, is down at the bottom, you should have a tab that says properties. If you don't, you can go into Window and open up your properties. So you see down at the bottom, it says properties. It also says source. It says link. It has my class. I can adjust pixels here. What I want you to do is you can go up to the top left under your tabs and click on File. And then just open up that images folder. So you're going to hit the little arrow and make sure you can see all of the images within names within the folder. Now down to the bottom again. If you hover over this, it kind of looks like a pointer. It's going to point to the file. If you just click on this and hold it, so I'm going to click and drag, holding my mouse all the way to the image that I want it to grab. So this is the one here. It's called Image Butterfly Green Blue. And I'm going to unclick, like let go of my mouse, and you can see it changed it in my file now. So those are the two ways you can change those. So we're done step 2 in assignment 1. So I'm going to make sure that I save all. Now in the bottom of your main area, so close to properties, there's this little icon here. It says preview. It looks like a desktop and a phone. So if you click on that and say Google Chrome, it should open up your site in a browser window. So you can test it out and see how it's working. And it looks like it's functioning pretty well so far. So I'm going to close that screen and I'm going to go back to my assignment outline. So the next step is change the background color to the color specified. So this is the color here. I'm actually just going to copy that and go back over to my page. So when you scroll all the way up to your coding, you should click on body. So that's going to be your main background area. So remember, your body is everything that you see within your web page. So that's where you want to apply the background color. What you need to do is go to your CSS. So in the top, under the menu, you'll see there's a tab that says A1 and then my initials.html. And then under that, there's source code. So that's your HTML. You'll have your CSS, your JavaScript, like anything else that's needed for your website to function. So I'm going to click on the Bootstrap CSS. Now in here, I need to look for body and see if they even have it created. So in here, remember that this is how we change our background color. So right now it's saying our background color is white. The great thing about Dreamweaver is when you hover over this or click on it, it shows you like the sample of the color. So what I need to do is change that to the numbers that it gave me. So I can change it in here really easily, or the other way I can do it in Dreamweaver is in the top right. I'm going to go over to my CSS Designer again. So I'm going to refer to this a lot. So File, CC Libraries, Insert, CSS Designer. And you can see that because I clicked on the body area in the CSS, it's also highlighted in the selectors. Now I can change my text color here. or font family, font weight, all of these are all here, like what's happening with the body. And just below that is my background. So my background is, right now says white. So I can drag this around and pick any color, but it specifically says what to use. So I'm just going to copy and paste what I had grabbed from the assignment outline. And I'm going to hit return. And you can see it changes it right away. And it also changed it in my CSS. The next part that's associated with this is changing the body text. So if I go back to my assignment, it says change the body text font family to Gill Sans Myriad or Arial. So going back to Dreamweaver, we can change our font family. So up here, you can see on line 63, there is a font family here that we can change. If I select all of that and I go look at my selectors, I'm still in body, and then it says text here. So this is easier than typing it. You can actually just select font family, and then you can scroll down till you see Gill Sans. So that is done. It also says to change the font family. So I've done this, change the body, I did that one. Change the font size to any size bigger than the template size. So if I go looking at my font size, it says 1 rem. So you can basically go up as much as you want. So I'm going to put in 1.75 rem because it was 1 rem. So as long as it's anything bigger than 1 rem, we're good. So I've done that. And then the next thing it says to do is my footer rule. So now I'm done step 3 of my assignment 1. So I'm going to save all. So when you save all, it saves the CSS, the JavaScript, and the HTML. If you just say save, it would only save the CSS. I can go to my web page here that I've created and sampled. And if I just hit refresh, it should refresh everything for me. So as you can see, everything looks good still. Everything's showing up. I'm all good. I can move on. So for your footer rule, I'm going to go back to my source code in my document. And I'm going to scroll to the footer. So I'm going to scroll down until I see the footer. So this is like this is the footer area somewhere around here. Here it is. So notice how it says footer here. So this is actually a footer class. So if I look at footer class, on line 175, it says footer, and the class is text center. So I want to use that one because when I select it, you can see that it selects all the area that I want. So in my selectors on the top right again, I'm going to put in the class. So it says dot text center dash center, and there it comes up. So I just put text dash CE and it shows up here. Notice how it only is centered in the text align. So I need to uncheck that show set again. And to get down to the background color really quickly, there's icons just under the word properties here. So it's layout, text, border, and then background. So if I click on background, it brings me right down to the section that I need to look at. So as you can see, again, it says background color. We'll click there, and then there's a number to put in here from your outline. And that is 95D0C8. And that is the right one. So if I click on that, you can notice that it changed also the company up here. So if I click on that, it's because it probably has text center in it. So if I take this, off of here, now it's going to, it's not going to apply text center to that area. So I'm going to leave that there. And you can see my H3s. So these are heading 3 has text center applied as well. I can leave those. The next, so we're done our footer rule actually. So I can say save all. I can go back to that web page that I have and we can check it out. So you can see it's applied it to quite a few areas. in my document. So maybe I don't want it to apply to all of those text center areas. So I might go and take off my text center. Oh, my text center off of these. So I can take it off of that if I wanted to, and I'll leave it on the assignment 1. And I'll leave it on my latest work, and I'm going to take it off of this one as well. So I'm going to click on the div tag and just X the text center. And then I'll keep going there. And now if I check out I have to save all again. And I check out my web page and refresh it. Now it's looking more like what I want it to. So you don't have to take out those backgrounds. You can leave those in if you'd like. This is just all to get more practice. So the next thing we're doing is we're creating a custom class. So you're going to locate the words lorem ipsum and change to Dreamweaver Assignment 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cheat. So I'm going to copy this from my code. So you can also copy from here, copy this. And then I'm going to go down to my lorem ipsum text here. And you can see it kind of highlights it in your coding as well. And I'm just going to paste that there. Paste. And it's not letting me. So I guess I'm stuck typing it out. Adobe Dreamweaver Assignment 1. So now that I have that selected and all typed out, it says to select assignment 1. And what we're going to do, and I'm actually going to do this up here, select assignment 1 in the title and italicize the text to apply an M tag. So an M tag, remember, is an emphasis tag. So that's a nested element. So what we're going to do is we're going to just, the easiest way in Dreamweaver is just when you highlight it, you'll get bold, italic, or link, hyperlink. You can just hit italicize and notice how it inserts the emphasis tag within your H1 element. So now that I have that done and I have this emphasize tag, I get this, when I click on assignment 1, I get the M tag above in that blue box. Now it says to create a new CSS rule that's called assign 1. So in here, I'm now on already 5B. So create a new CS rule, assignment 1, and apply this color to it. So I'm going to actually copy that color so I don't have to type it in. And we want to apply it towards assignment 1. So I'm going to click on this. So to create a new rule, all I have to do is click on the plus sign. I'm going to call it the proper name that was given, if I can spell. There we go. So it's assignment. It stands for assignment, but it's ASSIGN 1. And then I want to hit return. Make sure you hit return or it doesn't apply. It says select the source. You want to add it to your CSS code. You don't want to create a new one. And then you want to hit return again. So now when I click on my assignment, you'll see it says em.assign1. So what I'm going to go do now, in my selectors under CSS Designer on the right-hand side of the page again, I'm over here, and I'm going to type in assign1. So you can see it comes up here. So this is the one I just created, but there's nothing applied to it. So there's no properties applied. So what I'm going to do is click on my text and create my color, or choose my color, which is, oh, it didn't even do it, which is 9A9898. This is kind of a gray. So now that I have that done, you want to apply all instances of the rule to your H3 tags. So I'm going to save all for now. And if you don't know what your H3 tags, that's your heading 3. So say I'm looking for all of them in my document. What I'm going to do is in my code, I'm going to hit Command F. And that is also found for those that are on a PC. Let's see if I can find it for you. Here we go. So in find, you can say find in the current document. And then you'll see at the bottom, just below your coding, there's like a white strip that shows up, and I can type in H3, so lowercase h and then 3, and it highlights where all of those are in my document. If you look just on the scroll bar on the right of your code, it has 3 yellow bars. That means there's 3 instances there where it's there. So if I click on that on line 150, you'll see it says H3 Text Center. I'm just going to click on that and add assign 1. Applying assign 1. Again, I'm applying assign 1 plus sign, and then I'm going to put .assign1. There we go. And notice how in my coding on the last one there, 163, line 163, it says class text center assign 1. And then it's all closed in quotation marks. So that's how you apply that. I'm going to save all. The next thing it says is to go to view it in your web page. So I'm going to go back to my web page. I'm going to refresh my screen. So my assign 1 is in gray. My heading 3 is outside. I have my footer. I have my butterflies flush right. And I'm supposed to submit a PDF. So how you do that is in your browser window, you can go File, Print. And when your print screen comes up, it might look different on your PC than it does in here. You can actually save it as a PDF from your print screen. So in here it says save as PDF. Yours might say something a little bit different, but basically you can save it as a PDF. So, and that will look like this. So what I do in here is I typically want it all to fit on one page. Oh, I can open it up in mine. I can open up in a PDF preview, and then I might be able to shrink the page. The other thing you can do, oh no, it won't. The other thing I'm going to just show you is if I hit command and minus sign, or like if you click on your magnifying glass over in the bar here, you can just shrink it a bit and it should fit on one page then. So if I say print again, and I say save as PDF, and then I'm going to go back into my folder here. I'm going to click on my HTML and I'm going to call it .pdf instead of .html and save it. And then I would submit that whole folder to my instructor. And that is the end of assignment 1. Hope that helped you guys. Look for the next video, which will be Dreamweaver Assignment 2.